Hello there, I'm Neil McDonald, and this is a video of our recent recce trip to Northern Ireland, where we were joined by Thomas Sheridan. I hope the terrible noise of the wind doesn't put you off the video too much and that you still enjoy it. Well, this is actually incredible, isn't it? Thomas, what's it called? Beaghmore or Beaghmore?
Braymore.
It's absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's huge.
It doesn't have an R in it.
Yeah, and I think Bray is, in this context, means Bray is like a hill where you get a view from, and more is Irish for big. So the big sort of ridge view.
Right, okay, yeah. And to be honest, what a view all the way around. You can't actually see the top of the hills, but it's a really, really all-round view. And there seem to be so many different sides. I've been looking forward to seeing this. But kind of never seen anything.
You get a real,
extensive.
You get a real element of ritual about this one.
Yeah. There's a wedge tomb over there somewhere apparently as well. The original bog was that high up, which means basically there could be hundreds of stone circles underneath there. Makes you wonder how they found the first stones, because they must have dug very deep. This is unusual, isn't it? Have you seen the Hill of Many Stands in the north of Scotland?
I haven't been there, but just
looks like this.
The contradiction of things that are crackling pebbles with these quite significant stones here.
Well, they would be like marking the edge, and this would have been a dome, like I say. They've done.
It's a strange paradox, you know.
Where you get, they try and stop horses by putting lots of stones in the ground.
Yeah.
By some of these,
like barrows.
Yeah.
It's just this one has always been very strange. And these satellite type things are common around these circles as well.
These are like smaller cairns amidst the bigger cairns, really.
I reckon if there's anywhere there's burials that would be in here. And this is almost like an ornamental garden area. If you know, just assuming that, or it was as a pedestal that the ancient shamans stood on, you know.
Small, aren't they?
Could have been moved.
Look at that one there. That's kind of a pointy.
They're firmly
Just here.
Oh, here? Yeah.
So there's an external circle with the larger stones. There's a cairn, a huge central cairn. And these might have just dropped from the cairn.
Well, it started with, you said comets, and you said there's a reckon, was it?
Oh, yeah.
2500 BC. You wrote a paper about it, didn't you?
Well, there's been various times in history when there have been major worldwide events. One of them was around, I think it's about 2300, but it could vary. It could have been. This site is a representation.
The linear trails. 2500 BC is the date that some people look for the vanishing of Atlantis. We do know for a fact the desiccation of the Sahara Desert was 2500 BC, and there was an event in Ireland called the Black Pig in mythology, where in the allegory, a black pig came in from Eastkeep in Esquirrels, County Sligo, the Atlantic coast, and travelled across the north half of Ireland over to County Louth and the Irish Sea, and then went back thousands of spines and needles, which I would suggest would be probably trees that were turned over. I think in Japan, there was trees everywhere like that, like spines. So they may well have been affected by this, and the neuroses caused by it, or the effect of it caused by it, probably made them want to track comets.
The idea of the chamber tombs being places to hide from comets, if a devastation. You come across that?
See, they knew enough to know that the events in the cosmos are circular.
Yeah.
This thing is coming back. This thing is coming.
So these two are the furthest away from the centre of Beaghmore. Quite amazing again. It's hard to say what these are really, because the site stretches from 2500 BC, which is obviously well into the Neolithic, right up to the Iron Age. So what were these? Well, this looks like a cairn, an original cairn, but this here, it could be a cairn, but I'll tell you what it looks to me. It looks like an Iron Age settlement. And if that's the case, this is the Iron Age settlement next door. But then they could have started off. Could they have started off as burial cairns? The mind boggles. But I just noticed now, as I'm speaking, that behind there's a squared sort of formation. If that's the case, then I've seen before that when you've got a settlement, you have little square sort of outer buildings, maybe for storage. So maybe that's just what this is. Maybe we're looking at the settlement on the edge of a much older site. What you would say is like a passageway in, so that could be the comet's tail.
Yeah.
And these would be...
Maybe these would have, you see, because organic materials decay, they would have had things like white vellum, and we don't have that. So they might have had a star map.
So they could have recorded it.
When you stand in the middle of the circle and you look up and this is what you have facing north or whatever, that is the time the comet, whoever it is, comes from this direction. Be wary.
Yeah. Wonder what
it just has that calendar clockwork vibe about it, you know.
And this could be the head of the comet.
Yep.
Right there between the two orbital spheres. So this is Clontigora Cairn, like a huge passage tube. It's in Northern Ireland, and it's just not far from Newry. This here is the ceremonial area, and it is massive, which must mean that the actual cairn itself went back a long way. This is the entrance to the tombs. Just nip to the other side, have a look. Ceremonial area. There's the first tomb, quite a huge one really. And then it goes further back. And probably would have gone back much further into the field behind. So just taking a look from the other angle, from the other side. The length of it is huge. That's the end. Again, the first tomb area. There's the ceremonial area. But it's set in a beautiful landscape as well, which must have been significant. Kind of like the idea of the theatre of hills again, all the way around. Sense of place is it's definitely fundamental. So Ballykeel dolmen, a lovely little tripod dolmen, said to be the end of a long cairn, which is obviously these stones here. Don't know whether there's any burials in them, but it could be that was a ceremonial area at the top there. So this is an artist's impression of what is known locally as the Hag's Chair. So it looks like there would have been an entrance, or maybe we would have known it as a chambered long cairn. That's what it seems like. It's got a lovely hawthorn tree here growing out of it. And it's a fine little example. Well worth the visit. It's the first time I've ever seen it and I'm really impressed. And again, the area around it is superb. Sitting in the surrounding mountains. Wonderful. The Cregan Neveski. Absolutely fantastic.
That the officials don't record. It's a classic Irish court cairn. Shaped like a heart. Okay. Now, you would have had. They always seem to have two chambers and several antechambers. And the two main chambers, you have the orthostat's holding up a large stone on the entrance. In Sardinia, that from above, my theory is both of them are representations of a bull's head.
Right.
They used to be called bull cairns even at one time, and these are the horns of the bull, and that's almost like its body, its mount. You enter it, and bull cults were central to this part of Ireland. You know, they have the bow cult. The whole idea of Ireland was actually founded from a cow, the Boan goddess, and so bull veneration and cow bovine veneration was extremely intense in the Neolithic period. And my theory is that they probably would have ritual slaughters here of cattle. You know, there was a ritualistic aspects like that court area, the horned area.
Yeah.
That was probably used for slaughtering cattle or something like that. And they've also got acoustic properties as well there. You wouldn't hear it today with the wind.
They also say that at times of ritual, they would take the various bones out and include their ancestors in the ceremonies.
Yeah, well, what they used to do was excarnation.
Yeah,
and they put the bodies on a rack
yeah.
and the ravens eat them.
Yeah.
And the crows, and then that's why they would never find finger bones or toe bones, because they could carry them off.
Yeah.
Good for dips. So we're just looking for the Drumskinny stone circle. And we've passed these three stones here. It's like an alignment with tops that seem to be chopped off. And we'll carry on now to find the stone circle itself. So the remarkable thing here really is that really how similar it was to the stone circles we were looking at yesterday, where there was a circle and there was what looks like a burial. But then we were considering the possibility that this might have been the head of a comet. And here again we've got the comet's tail going off there, right next to what may have been a planet. It's just the similarities are striking and unusual to considering any other sites in England and even Ireland. Since I wanted to see this. That is amazing, that is fantastic.
So much bigger than you think it's going to be.
Yeah. It's a Janus figure.
They call it that after the Roman god Janus.
Ah, right.
But look in both directions. But I don't, it's obviously that could be the Crom Cruach, the last pagan god of Ireland. This is a different one.
That's a Lusty Man. And this is the Janus figure from the other side. So these are the Oglish stone circles. Apparently there used to be 5, and now it seems like there's 2 and not much else. It looks quite a complicated site. A lot of the stones were taken away to build canals and railways apparently, and of the 5 stone circles and the alignments that were here originally, I can see 1 pure stone circle, maybe another one, and everything else is just a little bit higgledy-piggledy. But what a beautiful place we're in, again with surrounding mountains. So the idea of place, again, it's really fundamental, I'd say. This is a giant's ring, a massive earthwork henge, right on the edge of Belfast. There's a passage tomb or chambered tomb, or cromlech, right in the middle. So this is the dolmen in the middle of the giant's ring. It does again present more questions and answers about the timeline. The henge itself seems Neolithic, so maybe they are contemporary with each other, or maybe this was a burial later, maybe from a later period. But it looks very, very, very old. It does look like it could be contemporary. As you move up from the dolmen, you can see the henge at the back there. And then above so beyond the embankment is the range of mountains, which seems to accentuate the bank, creating again a sense of place and the idea that the surrounding scenery and the surrounding art. So, Drumena Cashelan souterrain. Really, really thick wall. God, that's got to be 8 foot thick. Leading into the central area. I know that in the 1920s they spent the massive sum of £150 just to rebuild the wall which had fallen down over the years and make the souterrain more accessible. And there it is in the centre of the, or just off the centre of the cashel. This is one seriously huge souterrain. With little chambers. There's one down here. You can just about make out. And then there's all these would have been internal structures. All these bits of stone, curbstones hanging about. That was like a central area there, isn't it? Very, very impressive site.